I am Savvy Mike, and this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. And well, if you thought this LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith beef was over, and you're like me, I thought it was fucking over with as well. But here we are with more. Apparently, LeBron James went on Pat McAfee's show and did a unfiltered interview for about an hour and a half, I think. Talked about a lot on there. And during that moment, I guess Pat McAfee brought up the Stephen A. Smith situation. And LeBron James gave us his candid thoughts about this. Now, I am playing this clip from the Stephen A. Smith show where Stephen A. Smith goes on to violate LeBron. So right after that, we should get right into that. But either way, I'm done setting it up. Let's get into this shit. And let's listen.
Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
You're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, on fire. You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, it's, and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax.
Tighty Whitey's comment was funny because I don't wear tighty whities. Let you figure out why that is. But moving on from that particular subject, I don't happen to consider anything that LeBron has said a laughing matter. So y'all wanted me to be serious, I'll be serious. And I know there's some people out there that's going to be like, oh, I'm milking the story for all it's worth. Well, I've been winning in television for quite some time. I don't need an incident like this to talk about LeBron, and I don't need an incident like this to get ratings. LeBron gives us plenty of ammunition to talk about him, both good and bad. So let's get that out the way first. Let's also get out the way that major props to Pat McAfee for getting that interview. There's a lot of people that's been texting me, and he's a teammate. He's on ESPN. Why would he do that? Please, y'all, be quiet. Pat McAfee did nothing wrong. Pat McAfee did his job. Pat McAfee has a show that airs on ESPN. You have an opportunity to get LeBron James, you take him. I don't give a damn who you are. This is one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. You get him. If you have an opportunity to get him, you get him. And I didn't think that Pat McAfee disrespected me or did me wrong in any way. He did his job, and I got no problems with it. My issue is with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. And he went on national television today and he lied again. You see, when he approached me while I was sitting courtside at that game against the New York Knicks, when he rolled up on me, I didn't know he was going to roll up on me. I had no idea. But when he said what he had to say, I was in no position to give any kind of retort without making a scene. It was during the third quarter. It was fresh out of a timeout. It was him walking to the basketball court. It was on national television. The cameras were rolling. And had I done something, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to act? You want this to be a reincarnation of Chris Rock and Will Smith? And let me state for the record that while we bring up that, let me assure you it wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have gotten my ass kicked, because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. That I'm not going to tolerate. But I knew he wasn't going to do something like that. There was no fear in my mind about it. It was shock. Because as I have repeatedly stated, I was not talking about his son. I was talking about him. And whether it's the video that you saw him a couple of days later after that incident when he was talking to Richard Jefferson, my colleague at ESPN, before an ABC game in Boston when it got blown out that night by the Celtics, or in the aftermath of it, including Pat McAfee's show when he talked about me getting personal and taking it beyond basketball, I'm getting to a point where I'm getting very annoyed at people who cover the game of basketball, who cover professional sports, pundits out there, including him, his inner circle, his family members, and everybody else included. When are y'all going to ask him or hold him accountable for the truth? I have not been talking about Bronny James. I have not, as LeBron James accused me of doing to my face, been shitting on his son. I clapped back at D. Wade and Melo, two brothers I love dearly, when they were talking about this, even though 99% of the stuff they said was right. It was not clapping back at his son. Your second-round pick, 55th overall, there's been plenty of second-round picks that have to work their way up through the ranks before getting to the pro level. Me pointing that out about his son and talking about how his son has been pushed to the forefront, thereby put in a line of fire for folks in the media to come at him, is not denigrating his son. It's simply highlighting what we all knew, which is that he's not ready yet. But based on what we've seen from Bronny recently, there are indications that he will be. And as LeBron James pointed out on the Pat McAfee show today, it's probably sooner than later, because his growth and his maturation from just a year ago has happened by leaps and bounds. Nothing but respect and appreciation. Wishing Bronny nothing but the best. This is not about Bronny. This is about LeBron. This is about LeBron. And when you sit up there and you talk about, I love talking about, I don't need something like this to happen to talk about LeBron. He plays for the Lakers. He is LeBron James. I don't need an incident like this to talk about LeBron James. And do I use him for ratings? You're damn right. Like I use anything in the news for ratings. Because I'm a reporter and a personality and a pundit and a commentator. That's my career. Of course I talk about him. Of course I talk about anything relevant in the news. 1 minute it's LeBron, another minute it's the Cowboys. Y'all act like that's all I talk about. For 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week live, all I talk about is LeBron and the Cowboys. Are you sure? Because I can pick a whole bunch of things I've gotten in trouble for opening my mouth about. But that's neither here nor there. Because let's not get distracted from the real point at hand. The real point at hand is this. LeBron James continues to lie. He hoodwinked y'all into thinking that he was upset about criticism about his son. If your son is a professional basketball player, and I was talking about your son as a basketball player, since you just went on Pat McAfee's show and said you would never knock anybody for talking about the game, then what is it that I said? What I said was, as a father, stop. I wasn't talking about you as a father, as somebody that's home minding your business, and I just call you out because your son is in this position. That's not the father I've been talking about. That's why I've been addressing Draymond Green, who's been an avid supporter of LeBron on this matter. All I'm asking is for comprehension of the actual point. How do you mention Bronny James without bringing up how he got drafted by the Lakers? How he got drafted, period. How do you bring that up without bringing up LeBron James saying he was better than some NBA players before he got to the NBA. How do you bring that up without bringing up that LeBron James said, quote, if you want me, draft my son. At this point, it ain't about the money. I'll play for free. That was LeBron. How is it? I mean, I understand cynics. I understand this penchant to just hate the player and not the game. I understand how it's tempting to just come at me because you might dislike me or might disagree with me if you're Joe Public or Susie Public out there. I get it. But don't the truth matter? Because there's one person in this ordeal that's telling the truth, and it's me. I don't lie to y'all. His ass lies a lot. And there's a lot of shady stuff that he does. And one of the things is his passive aggressiveness and the two-facedness and smile in your face and dig you behind the back. I happen to know that about him, which is why I don't like him. And he don't like me. But it doesn't stop me from being fair and calling it like I see it. We ain't exchanging Christmas gifts. We ain't having Thanksgiving dinner together. What you bring your son up in there for? What you bring your family up in there before? You gonna go on Pat McAfee show, talk about you gonna protect your house. What you talking about? Your son ain't at the house. He's at crypto.com arena. We ain't covering him in Brentwood. We covering him in downtown LA at the crypto.com arena. Where you put him. Now, I happen to believe that he's going to be ready. I think Bronny's going to be an NBA player. I believe in the kid personally. But LeBron did this. Now, to get to he and I, could y'all please go back to the video of him getting in my face? If you watch, ladies and gentlemen, and you see it for yourself, notice how LeBron is in my face, and right when he finishes, he looks past me right at the camera that was filming it. Watch him. I didn't even pick that up first go round. You got Markieff Morris to my right, his left. You got Scott Brooks, assistant coach, behind him. He finishes talking and looks right up to the camera. Everybody and their mother knew I was going to be there. Because when you sit courtside, the Lakers have an idea of who's going to show up.
I'll say this much. LeBron's a petty, petty diva. A petty diva. Look, we get it, okay? We get it. You are indeed one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game of basketball. But that doesn't give you the right to act like this asshole. Like, Stephen A. Smith has never said anything bad about Bronny. Only thing he ever really did criticize Bronny on was his play. And he also criticized LeBron James getting Bronny into the league. Fair things to criticize. There was nothing personal about that. Like, I feel like LeBron James is just trying to make it known that he doesn't like Stephen A. Smith, and he wants to let the players know that this man, you know, he ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, why does it matter? Like, all ESPN is going to do is create another Stephen A. Smith, another person that's going to be highly critical of everything the players in the NBA do. Once he's done, it's just going to be another one to sprout up, be in this place. Like, that's just how it works. So you have to deal with it. And in the interview, you said you understand that and you know that, but yet you want to get in somebody's face because they're criticizing your son. Just say it. Stop bullshitting. That was gaslighting. Like, he was gaslighting everybody there. Oh, once it got personal, that's when I had a problem with it. I'm going to protect my household. And not only that, I'm going to protect the players. You're going to protect the players by getting in Stephen A. Smith's face and telling him, stop talking about my son? How does that protect the players, LeBron? Like, he really thought he was saying something when he said that, like, I'm going to protect, not only am I going to protect my household, I'm going to protect the players. What? fucking goofball. You know, LeBron James is the top 5 greatest player of all time, dead or alive. No question about it. But that doesn't give him the right to act like this. He's acting like an asshole. Like, at the end of the day, you play in the NBA. He talks about people that play in the NBA. There's no reason to continue this beef. Going to ESPN and sitting with Pat McAfee was a bit odd. And then going up there and then, you know, if I'm Pat McAfee, yeah, I'm asking the question too. I'm not leaving it on the table, but I'm just hoping LeBron at least keeps it respectful. But clearly he didn't. He said the nigga was acting like Taylor Swift going on a world tour and whatnot. And anyways, look, to all LeBron James fans out there, I understand it. I get it. I understand why that's your GOAT. That's your king. I get it. He's just not mine. Kobe Bryant will forever be the GOAT to me. Either way. Let me know what y'all think about this whole hoop out in the comments below. I am Savvy Mike. And as always, this is I Am Savvy Mike TV. Peace.